Hello and welcome everyone back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball. My name is Charlie Brigham, alongside me, Amer Bektas, and today we're in the tropical paradise of Indianapolis, Indiana for the Big Ten Women's Tournament as Michigan is set to face off in just a few minutes against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Earlier this season, we saw these two teams face off, and Nebraska got the better of Michigan for one of their first real tough losses of the season, but the Wolverines have bounced back. An unfortunate end of the regular season, falling just short of a Big Ten championship, but the Wolverines are looking for redemption here in Indiana.
Yeah, redemption is pretty key word for the Wolverines tonight. As you mentioned, they did lose in Lincoln, Nebraska, a 79 to 58 back in January. So it's been quite a while since these two have faced off, but last night, Nebraska took care of business against Illinois and pretty handedly beating the Big Ten tournament record for most threes with 15. Player to keep an eye on is going to be Jaz Shelley. She had 9 3-pointers last night and a career high of 32 points. So let's see who the Wolverines have guarding Shelley tonight.
Odds are it will be Layla Felia. We'll give you the quick starting lineups for both teams on the side of Nebraska. It will be the aforementioned Jaz Shelley, Allison Weidner, Sam Hybe, Isabel Bourne, and Alexis Markowski to round out that 5. And for the Michigan Wolverines, it's Maddie Nolan, Layla Felia, Danielle Rausch, Emily Kiser. And in the middle, and rounding out the lineup, the All-American Naz Hillman. About a week ago, the Big Ten regular season awards were named, and the Wolverines cleaned up. Naz Hillman, the first ever 4-time first-team All-Big Ten selection in program history. Leah Brown, even with the injury, missing part of the season, was selected to the second team. Emily Kiser and Maddie Nolan were both honorable mention for All-Big Ten team. Layla Felia was met to the All-Freshman team. Naz Hillman was put on the All-Defensive team. And probably the crowning jewel of all that, Coach Kim Barnes-Arico was named Big Ten Coach of the Year. So definitely incredible regular season for the Wolverines, but we are just about set to go. It's Hillman and Markowski in the circle for the opening tip. And we are off. Hillman right back to Maddie Nolan, and the Wolverines are going to have the first possession. Rausch up top. Quick pass over to Kiser on the wing. Now a real nice handoff back to Rausch. Rausch dribbles out. Kick up to Kiser, top of the key. Looking inside for Hillman, won't get her. Now a handoff to the freshman Felia. Felia, dump down pass inside for Hillman. Hillman finds a cutting Emily Kiser, wide open for the layup, but missed it. And she's going to get called for the offensive foul. Tough string of events there for Michigan to start things off. Kiser had a bunny, missed it, and then picks up an early one here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, tough start right there. Just a great backdoor cut by Kiser. Cannot finish the layup and then draws the foul. So already one foul for the Wolverines on their first possession.
Nebraska now coming down. Michigan gets him in a tough trap up near half court. Kick to the corner. Open 3 for Hybe. No correction, that one for Weidner. That one a bit too strong, but pulling in the rebound is Bourne, and she'll kick back to Jaz Shelley, guarded by Layla Felia. Hillman coming up to hedge up near half court again. Pass inside for Markowski up with the right hand, and she's called for a foul late. They're going to say Maddie Nolan caught it with the body. That one, as I mentioned, a late call. That shot was already up and on the ground by the time the whistle blew.
So as Markowski goes to the free throw line, what a pass by Shelley right there. She was basically almost at half court, just zips it down low into the block to draw the foul.
Markowski puts that one hard off the front of the rim, but a bit of luck rolls her way as it rolls over the rim and drops in for the first points of this ball game. Second one, nothing but net. And the Cornhuskers up 2-0 here with 9:06 left to play in the first quarter. Rausch advances with a pass up to Felia. Michigan looking to tie things up here. Felia driving downhill on Shelley, kicks out to Rausch. Now pass up top for Kiser, back to Rausch now. Inside for Hillman, kick to the corner. Maddie Nolan with her first 3 of this ball game off the back iron, no good. And pulling down the rebound and pushing in transition is Hybe. Up the right side, she's got all the way in. Kicks out. That one to Weidner, goes inside. Tried to draw the foul on Maddie Nolan, who stood in there strong, but it's a good no call from the referees.
Yeah, Nolan really could have taken a charge right there on that one, but stood her ground.
Pass to the corner for Felia, guarded by Shelley. Now inside for Hillman. Plenty of room. Pull-up jumper, no good. Hit about every part of the rim and then up into the backboard. Michigan still scoreless with 8:15 left to play here in the first quarter. Hybe drives middle, kicks over to Weidner, driving right hand, now pass to the corner. This one a three from Bourne, and it's good. Nebraska up 5-0 early.
So just already a continuation of last night for the Cornhuskers. Already their first three-pointer of the night.
Just under 8 minutes left to play here in quarter number one. The Wolverines yet to get one to drop. Filia driving downhill. Pass inside for Kiser now. Up strong with the right hand, fighting through contact, and she gets that one. 5-2 is the score with 7:45 left to play. Shelley on the right wing, now trying to drive middle. Gets around Hillman all the way to the basket. Kick-out pass for Weidner is a bit over to her right side. Couldn't field it clean. He now gets inside, fighting up through contact, and then gets that one to drop. Danielle Rausch got a hand on it, but not enough. Nebraska up 7-2 here with 7:20 left to play in the first. Hillman up and one. Off the feed from Danielle Rausch. Hillman fighting up through two Husker defenders and gets her first bucket of the ball game.
That has to be one of the scariest things as a defender when you're down low on the block and you have Hillman just turn and face the basket and you're in between. She's going to go up. She's going to draw the contact and she finishes it. Now she's going to go to the free throw line for an old-fashioned three-point play.
Hillman knocks down and converts the and one. Bourne caught her on the front left shoulder. They blew the whistle, and then Markowski hit her from behind, too, and Hillman still had the strength to finish that one. Shelley looking for something here. Hits Hybe on the far side. That one a three off the front of the rim, no good. It's going to be tipped out of bounds. Last touched by a Husker. It'll be Michigan basketball down by 2.
Yeah, so for this year's team, obviously Naz Hillman has drawn a lot of attention, but you're also going to have players step up, and you want to keep an eye on Emily Kiser. She's averaging just under 10 points per game. As the double team comes on Naz, Kiser could be that second player to get high up in the numbers.
Under 7 minutes left to play here in quarter number one. Nebraska up 7-5. Rausch kicks to the corner for File, who had an open shot. Spins back to her left hand, driving baseline, and a tough one from the freshman won't go. Shelley now pushing in transition, gets all the way inside. Now spins back around Filia, tough finish, and gets it to go.
Shelley is very quick out there on the floor, going coast to coast.
As she gets burned there, Filia inside, fighting through contact, no whistle. And now Nebraska going the other way. It's Weidner. Pull-up jumper from just inside the free throw line, and that one's good. Nebraska all gas, no breaks here in quarter number one, and they're up 6, 11-5.
Just a continuation from last night. The Wolverines this is their first game of the tournament, trying to get their feet under themselves right now.
You mentioned the first game of the tournament. Michigan has a 3 seed, earned a 2-game bye. Kiser up top, passes to Feely on the left wing. Fighting around a ball screen, getting all the way inside, up through contact, and that one goes.
This is going to be a good matchup to keep an eye on, is between Felia and Shelley. Just really those two are going to go at it all night.
Great seal there by Isabel Bourne, and Hybe all the way to the rack for an easy, wide-open left-handed layup. Kiser tried to step over and take a charge, but Bourne just boxed her out and wouldn't let her get in. Nolan passes inside for Hillman, who kicks back up top for Felia. She'll now go back to Hillman. Drive with the right hand. Spins back to the left. Tough look, and it misses everything but the backboard on the right-hand side. Nebraska's still up big. It's 13-7. Weidner driving all the way inside. Had a left-handed layup and missed it. Hillman with the rebound. Pushes up to Rausch. Now she's running in transition. Nice little in and out, getting all the way inside with the left hand. Kicks up top for Hillman. Hillman gives it right back. Now we'll set a late ball screen. Slips it, gets inside. Dumped down to Kiser, who misses the open layup again on the right side.
That's tough. That's the second open miss for Emily Kiser right there. Basically an easy layup. And this Nebraska team is not going to give that many opportunities for easy buckets.
Kiser steps in front of one and takes a charge. Bourne got a little too reckless there, trying to drive downhill from the top of the key, and Kiser doing a nice job stepping over to take one. As we head to the first media timeout, the Huskers up 6, 13-7 here in Indianapolis. And it seems like everything is falling for Nebraska right now. 5 of their last 7 from the field.
Yeah, the Cornhuskers this season, they're averaging just under 37% from behind the arc, and then they're 45 from the field. So they make their shots, and they're also a really good defensive team out there. You know,
be interesting to see what adjustments Michigan makes. It's, you know, this early in the game, it's not really so much as, you know, strategy or anything like that, but we mentioned this is the first game that Michigan's played here so far this weekend. So, you know, part of it might just be getting their feet under them and getting comfortable in this arena. They had shoot around this morning, but every team only gets a limited amount of time, so you don't really have, you know, all that much time to get accustomed to the arena, get the depth perception kind of locked in your head. So this first quarter definitely going to be a lot of learning for Michigan.
Yeah, and a late tip out here. I mean, a 9 p.m. tip, and they came in last night or yesterday, early morning, shoot around. I mean, and Nebraska shot the lights out last night against Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois caught a tough break there. We're fighting early, but the Huskers pulled away, as you mentioned. They just shot the lights out, 16 threes, 9 of them coming off the hand of Jazz Shelley. Speaking of shooting the lights out, Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes won their game immediately before this against the Northwestern Wildcats. So the winner of this game will go on to face Iowa tomorrow in the Big Ten tournament semifinals.
So let's just break down what Nebraska did last night to the Fighting Illini. So the final score was 79-50, that was correction. That's a different one. But they had the largest lead last night, was a 25-point lead. They led the entire game, but they had 18 points come off of second chances. But another thing to keep an eye on is 21 points off the fast break. So they're obviously a team that likes to play fast and with tempo. So just what does KBA want to do with that? How does she slow down the Cornhuskers from playing their basketball?
Michigan's done a great job at, you know, slowing teams down like that all year. When they're able to take care of the basketball, because turnovers have been a problem at times, this Michigan team is very, very good. Nebraska, you know, last night they were expected to win big, and they won big. They did what they were supposed to do. The Fighting Illini were, for all intents and purposes, not a very good basketball team this year, struggled a lot. So Nebraska taking care of business, looking to shock the world and do it for the second time tonight. We have our first substitutions of this ball game as Leah Brown and Isabel Verajao check in for Layla Felia and Emily Kiser.
So already KBA going with some size out on the floor.
Verajao, nice little pitch back to Brown, driving hard inside, fighting through contact and gets that one to go. Shelley lucky not to get a foul call there as she was all over the back of Leah Brown. Driving baseline is Caton. Now dishing back out to Stewart. And Stewart will give it right back. Under 4 minutes left to play here. The Husker lead now cut to 4, 13-9. Caton, kick out. That one a 3-ball, and that one's good from Stewart. Annika Stewart drops in the second one of the day for Nebraska. They're now 2 for 3 from downtown. Pass inside from Nolan to Verajao, who hits Hillman down low. Power dribble, goes up, won't get it. Gets her own rebound, fighting up again, and she's fouled from behind. That one's going to go on Stewart, who just hit the 3 on the other end, and Hillman will shoot 2.
Those second opportunities are going to be crucial for the Wolverines tonight. You know, it's just they work so hard to get it down there, and then it's just they can't get that final finish.
Quick stoppage of play as Naz Hillman ties up her sneaker, and we'll have another substitution. Elise Stuck will check in for Isabel Verajao. Also checking in is Amy Dilk, and she'll send Danielle Rausch over to the bench to get her first rest of the day.
Yeah, sophomore Elise Stuck. It's an early substitution. I mean, she's averaging about 7 minutes per game, so Kim Barnes-Rico going to her early, the sophomore, and a big opportunity.
Hillman misses the first one off the right side of the rim. Takes a deep breath, and now we'll reset for attempt number 2. 3:30 left to play here in the first quarter. Nebraska up by 7, 16-9, and as Hillman makes it a 6-point ball game with that free throw. 1-2-2, and a token full court press right now from Michigan. Nebraska struggling to get it over, barely getting it over with 1 second left. Over to Caton, drives inside, up for Stewart, fighting through contact on Elise Stuck, and she gets it to go. Nebraska extends their lead to 8. Caton all over Amy Dilk up top. The Michigan faithful unhappy with the no call thus far. Dilk pass inside for Stuck. Dribble with the left hand. Nice step through with the right. Won't go. Hillman pulls down the rebound. It's going to be a jump ball called. And the possession error will go to Nebraska. Coach Kim Barnes-Arico visibly unhappy there in front of the Michigan bench.
Oh, she has reason to be upset with that call. Hillman going up, getting the rebound, and basically getting fouled. So a no call. But
under 3 minutes left here in quarter number one as Stewart pulls up for another three right in Hillman's face and make it an 11-point game as Nebraska continues to surge ahead.
Yeah, Nebraska now 4 of 6 from downtown.
Caton all over Amy Dilk, and she's finally called for a foul up near half court.
You know, this is one of those things where it's like when teams are trying to figure out where they want to be in seeding and whatnot, you always want to get that double bye. But to be able to get, like, come in early and not be, like, ice cold like the Wolverines are struggling right now, but it's still early. You know, Illinois, they played last night. They played lights out, and it's just a continuation so far.
3 substitutions for Michigan as Leah Brown fights through contact. Tough jumper, and she gets it to go. She gives the too little motion after the tough bucket on Jazz Shelley. Leah Brown obviously was out for a good portion of the latter half of the regular season, has come back and just been a spark plug in this Michigan offense since her return. Shelley gets a ball screen, now driving middle with the left. Kick to the corner for Weidner. She'll pull up for 3 after the jab step, and it'll go. 12-point lead, and Nebraska cannot miss from downtown. They're now 3 of 4. Long skip pass from Leah Brown to the corner, just sails into the Nebraska bench as she shows some visible signs of frustration to the freshman Layla Filia, who she wanted to cut. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor. 1:45 left to play here in quarter number one. And Michigan has some things to figure out. Nebraska up 12, 24-12 here in Indianapolis.
Biggest thing they got to figure out is on the defensive side of the ball. Right now, the Cornhuskers are 4 for 4 on their last 4 possessions. And, you know, they're 4 of 6 from downtown. They're shooting just a great first quarter for them so far.
69% from the floor, 100% from the line, and you mentioned 67% from downtown. Nebraska just can't seem to miss right now. Michigan on the other end just struggling to put the ball in the basket. They've missed a couple easy layups, which would have made this ball game much closer than it is, but the 30-second timeout ends, and we are set to go. It'll be Shelley to bring it up. Now pass up to Cravens on the elbow, guarded by Emily Kiser. Pass now inside. That's going to be a foul called late. It's going to be on Leah Brown. The pass was to a cutting Markowski, who it looked like from up here she might have traveled a bit before, and Coach Kim Barnes-Arico was letting her know.
Yeah, Alexis Markowski, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, the Big Ten All-Second Team. Just a really special player out there. She gets a friendly bounce. The rims are really in favor for the Cornhuskers tonight. But, you know, Markowski, she's averaging just over 13 points per game. She's produced double figures in each of the last 6 games since February 14th. And last night, she had 22 points. Against Michigan, she had 20. As she sinks 1 of the 2 free throws.
Correction, Markowski sinks both of them, and that extends the lead to 14. 26-12 with just over a minute left to play. Leah Brown finds Emily Kiser in the high post. Brown now cutting. Tough pull-up jumper. Wanted the foul call, won't get it. And that one's going to go down as an air ball. Pushing in transition is Weidner. Kick out to Shelley, who showed her shot from way deep. Ophelia able to put a hand up. Cameron Williams hedges on the screen for Markowski. Shelley with a nice little left to right cross. That's a huge part of Shelley's game. All right hand, trying to get back to it. Caton passes inside, and it's stolen away. Danielle Rausch running in transition. Up to Cameron Williams, up with the right hand, and that one good. Michigan ends their drought. The lead now back to 12 for Nebraska with 40 seconds left to play here in quarter number 1. But as we mentioned a bunch, the Cornhuskers are hot right now. 4 of their last 4 from the field. Markowski tried to dribble inside. Leah Brown came from behind and tips it out of bounds.
Yeah, good defensive play there by Brown as Markowski was going to work down low on the post. Brown just trying to sneak in. Credit to her to not draw the foul and just knock it out of bounds.
Weidner to inbound underneath. Gets it up top to Hybe, guarded by Felia. Pass inside for Markowski now. Tough look around Cameron Williams, and great job by the sophomore Williams just keeping her hands up. So 20 seconds left here in the quarter. Danielle Rausch is going to call for the last shot. Is Michigan looking to make this a 10-point ball game. 26-14, Nebraska is out in front. 6 seconds left. 5 now. Leah Brown calling for a screen. Driving with the left hand. Kicked out to Felia at the buzzer. That one won't go. We head to quarter number 2. And this one has been all Nebraska here in the first.
All Nebraska first quarter. You know, just a continuation from last night. It is when it's falling from downtown, just keep it shooting. They're shooting 67% from behind the arc, 64 from the field, compared to the Wolverines 0 for 2 from behind downtown, and then 35% from the field. It's just they're not struggling to get the opportunities. They're missing those wide open opportunities, and you cannot do that against a team that is shooting lights out so far.
You know, across the board, it's pretty even. Rebounds are, you know, Nebraska's leading by 2. Assists are leading by 2. Steals, both teams are even. In terms of turnovers, Michigan is tied with Nebraska right now at 2 apiece. And, you know, as I said, they're pretty even across the board. Similar amount of shots on both sides. It's just that they're falling for the Huskers. Yeah. 9 of 14 from the floor. 4 of 6 is from downtown, as you mentioned. And Michigan just 6 for 17. Had a couple easy layups that they missed early in the first quarter. Those coming back to bite them.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the rest, like the stats, like when you're even across the board, and there's only so much you can do against your opponent when the shots are just going in and yours aren't. So and you got 3 quarters to figure it out. And to only be down by 12 is not a huge deficit. And the Wolverines are very capable of, you know, getting back into this one. You can look at players like Maddie Nolan, who is probably arguably their best three-point shooter out on the floor. She shoots about 44% from downtown.
The graphic flashes up there on the Jumbotron in front of us. Head coach Kim Barnes-Arico was named the Big Ten Coach of the Year. It also flashes up. KBA was named one of 15 coaches as the watch list towards the end of the season to win the Naismith Coach of the Year award for all of women's college basketball. So definitely that is on the radar. As the horn sounds and both teams break their timeout huddles, we're going to head to quarter number 2. And it was all Huskers in the first half, or in the first quarter, rather. 26-14. Weidner leading the way with 7. Hillman, the leading scorer for the Wolverines with 4 points, also leading rebounder with 3. And it'll be Michigan ball coming out of the timeout. Rausch dribbles over to the right wing, now passes up top for Nolan. Iverson screen gets Rausch open in front of the Nebraska bench, who passes now up top for Leah Brown. Wanted the pass inside for Hillman, who gave it away. A little bit too far to her left side, and Markowski able to take it away. Costly mistake on the first possession of this quarter. Driving downhill with the right hand is Moriarty, getting all the way inside. Now pulls back out with her dribble, guarded by Rausch. Rausch all over her. Somehow finds her way to Weidner. Tough floater with the left hand in the middle of the lane. And Hillman pulled down the rebound and gets it stolen immediately by Weidner. Now goes up with the left, and Hillman will pull it down again. Strange string of events there on both ends. There's going to be a quick whistle to... Don't really know what the whistle's for.
It's just an injury time.
Oh, looks like the player. Look, it is 14 Craven, seems to be bleeding from, looks like her right cheek, so she'll get cleaned up quick. A substitution will come in.
Yeah, on the Nas Hillman rebound down there, Craven was, taking it easy back there, but Michigan got into their offensive flow. KBA's not happy with the stoppage, but referees called the stoppage.
Inbounds pass gets in cleanly to Hillman. Kicks out. Maddie Nolan for three. Leaves it short. That's going to go off. Looks like the hands of Hillman, who has a quick word with the referee that Markowski kind of pushed her out of the way and that Markowski might have been the last one to touch it. 9 minutes left to play here in the first half, and Michigan still down by 12. Nebraska barely gets it over. They've got 1 second to spare before the 10-second half-court violation. Hybe with a little bit of a hesitation move, kicks out to Moriarty. Swung around the horn. Bourne now to Weidner, gets all the way to the elbow before kicking back out. Hybe inside for Markowski, guarded by Hillman.
Good defense.
The freshman can't get anything going, kicks back out to Hybe. Tough floater, baseline won't go, and Leah Brown pulls it down.
Exactly what the Wolverines need to do, play some good defense on the other end of the floor.
Brown, nice pass inside for Kiser, fighting through contact, and she won't get the foul call. Kiser got hit hard up near her head, and Hybe going in transition now. And then there's finally the foul call. This one is going to go on Bourne. She caught Kiser from behind on the other end.
Oh, that's three on, is that correct? 3 fouls on Bourne?
That will be her third, so she'll go to the bench alongside Moriarty. Checking in will be Jazz Shelley alongside Stewart, the leading scorer for the Huskers. Michigan still looking for their first bucket of the second quarter. Pass over to Leah Brown, who gets a ball screen from Hillman. Now pass top of the key for Kiser. Brown gets it back, calling for a second ball screen. This one coming from Kiser. Pass inside to her. She was cutting, and Markowski standing there like a brick wall and able to poke it away. Hybe pushing up in transition. Nice step-through move around Danielle Rausch. And now it's a 14-point lead for Nebraska. Rausch driving to the corner. Kicks out for Nolan, driving with the left-hand middle. Pass up top for Kiser. Markowski and Hillman fighting for position down low. Nice seal from Nas Hillman and a left-handed layup. And one as Maddie Nolan gets all the way to the basket. And they're going to say she was caught on the head.
So Nolan will obviously get credit on the stat book right there, but, that's got to go to credit to Nas Hillman as well, who won't get the stat for it, but clearing the lane for Nolan to drive in and get the easier layup.
Foul call is going to go against Weidner as there's 2 quick substitutions. Emily Kiser and Leah Brown will head to the bench, and in come Cameron Williams and Layla Felia.
Maddie Nolan looking to complete the 3-point play.
Maddie Nolan, a very good free throw shooter this year, as she continues that campaign and converts the N1. Just under 8 minutes left to play here, and it's now an 11-point ball game. The Huskers up 28-17. Hybe calling out some plays up near half court. Couple dribble handoffs, now swung over to the far side of the court across from the Michigan bench to Shelley. Shelley might have gotten away with a travel there. Now passes to Stewart. Stewart cross-court pass to Weidner. Driving middle. Passes, and that one hits Stewart in the face, and Layla Felia's got a wide open floor. Going up, the freshman misses the layup. Hillman pulls it down, and then she's called for a foul. The freshman Felia had the open layup, but decided to put the brakes on a little bit and try to draw the foul on Shelley. Shelley did a nice job just staying tall, but Nebraska, in the end, is going to foul Nas Hillman.
Man, oh man, as head coach Amy Williams upset down there on the court for the Huskers. Referee was right there in front of her and was like, hey, take it easy there, buddy.
Kicking in for Nebraska, this is Hillman at the line, 2 shots.
Hillman to shoot 2 to cut the lead to single digits for the first time in a while. It's 28-18 right now as Hillman converts the first. 7:22 left to play here in the half. Hillman spins the ball, now up for the second and gets it to go. The lead now just 9 for Nebraska. Michigan looking to put together a little bit something here as the maize and blue faithful behind the Michigan bench get to their feet and start getting loud. Felia guarding the ball. It's Shelley in front of the Michigan bench. Calling for a ball screen, now going back to that right hand. We mentioned she doesn't want to go left, and that on a late foul call And KBA is unhappy with that one. Shelley pushed off of Williams with her left arm, but Williams, the culprit.
It would have been better off just for a no call. No call right there, because you could have argued either way for a foul to be called. And, you know, if you're a referee, you got to let it go. You got to let it go like that for that one.
Nebraska will reset. They had a fresh shot clock up to 20. Now it's down to 10. Markowski over to Stewart. Stewart swings all the way across to Caton. Now driving with the right hand. Long cross-court pass for Hybe at the end of the shot clock. That one won't go. Pulling it down is Hillman. That one, her 7th rebound of the first half. Rausch with a nice dribble move to get all the way inside. Up with the left hand and a little bit of razzle-dazzle from Danielle Rausch. And she is pumped up.
Wolverines on a 7-0 run right now.
The lead cut to just 7. Shelley with a handoff to Caton. Bounce pass over to the right wing for Hybe. Dribble to her left hand, now passes. Tipped away by Cameron Williams. Hybe able to get it back, getting all the way inside. Kicks out to Jazz Shelley in the corner. That 3 won't go. Loose ball, and Maddie Nolan pulls down the rebound. Michigan standing strong again. Nebraska hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes and now 12 seconds. Pass over to the wing. Maddie Nolan had an open 3, decided to pass it up. Williams over to the left wing in front of the Nebraska bench to Felia. Felia now back up top for Rausch. Rausch swung around the horn for Nolan. 3 seconds left in the shot clock. Pass inside was intended for Hillman, and it was tipped away by Markowski. Leah Brown will check in for Nolan.
Yeah, so with 1.2 left on the shot clock, really not much you can do other than a quick catch and shoot.
You can see KBA having a word with Maddie Nolan. Nolan, one of the best three-point shooters in the Big Ten. His long cross-court pass finds Felia, puts up the shot at the end of the shot clock, hits the rim, loose ball. It's on the floor, and Hillman pulled it away. Now it's on the floor, and that one, a bad foul call on Naz Hillman. She dove on the floor for the loose ball. Shelley kicked it away from her and then chased after it and tripped over Hillman's legs, and Hillman called for a tripping foul. That one her first.
So, going back to that original play right there, you know, great. I mean, they didn't draw it up, but Layla Felia was open right in the corner, just could not get that friendly bounce in for 3. If she gets that, Michigan is on a 10-0 run. You know, there's a good, decent amount of Wolverine faithful on hand tonight.
Before that ball went into Felia, KBA had a word with Maddie Nolan. As I was saying, Nolan, one of the best three-point shooters in the Big Ten. You've got an open look like that, you're on a run. That's when you got to at least put up on the rim. Driving with the right hand is Cravens, and it's stolen by Hillman. Trying to go coast to coast, kicks back to Felia. Euro step in the middle of the lane, won't go. And that one tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay Michigan basketball.
You would hope that Naz Hillman would take that a little bit deeper in before throwing it off to Layla Felia, because you got to force the defender with 2 of you running in to pick ball first and open up your teammate.
Rausch to inbound, lob pass to Hillman. Now inside Williams. Nice little floater in the middle of the rain and make it a 9-0 run for Michigan. The lead cut to just 5. Nebraska led by as much as 14 at one point. And Williams with her second steal.
Lazy pass by Markowski.
Leah Brown going up in transition, and she's fouled by Markowski. She'll shoot 2. That one Markowski's first. And that's going to be a timeout called. Michigan is amped up right now. 9-0 run in the last 3 minutes with potential to make it even more as Leah Brown will head to the free throw line after this timeout concludes.
What a turn of events for the Wolverines right there. Going on a 9-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And, you know, it all starts out with good defense. And if you're the Wolverines, you'll take those soft passes from Markowski any day and then force the turnover. And then she draws, a foul on the other side. So the Big Ten freshman of the year visibly upset with her teammates right now.
Cameron Williams, the sophomore, using all of her 6'3" frame and her long wingspan to just cause havoc up there at the top of the key I mentioned. Now with 2 steals, both of them on pretty much identical plays up on Markowski at the top of the key. So So when the timeout concludes, as we mentioned, it will be Leah Brown up at the free throw line with potential to make this a 5-point ball game with 4:45 left here in the first half. Michigan one foul away from being in the bonus as Nebraska has gotten sloppy on the defensive end late. Both teams wrapping up their huddles. On the floor for Nebraska, it's going to be Shelley, Hybe, Caton, Cravens, and Markowski. For Michigan, it's Hillman, Felia, Rausch, Brown, and rounding it out, who we just mentioned, it's going to be Cameron Williams.
Yeah, so side note, right now we got the Iowa Hawkeyes in attendance, you know, watching. They will face off the winner of this game tomorrow at 6 p.m. You got Caitlin Clark just eating some popcorn down there, taking this one in.
Long timeout here. As the immediate timeout just about set to wrap up. Just tuning in, we would like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here from Indianapolis. We'll be here about a week from now, back for the men's Big Ten tournament, so stay tuned for that and all of our other coverage.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff. Michigan hockey just wrapping up back in Ann Arbor, defeating the Michigan State Spartans 4-1 in the first game of the Big Ten tournament. And with this being an opening round series, it is a best of 3. Wolverines will be back in action tomorrow against the same Michigan State Spartans. With a win, they will move on to the next round. And
28-23 here. Nebraska still out in front with 4:45 left to play. But Leah Brown looking to cut that lead even more. First one drops, and that'll be now a 10-0 run from the Michigan Wolverines, and this one a 4-point ball game.
Yeah, Leah Brown, an 81% free throw shooter, gets both of those to fall, averaging 16 points for this team. And, you know, she was injured towards the end of the season, and, you know, to have that senior leadership out on the floor is huge for the Wolverines.
Michigan now back in that full court press. Nebraska's been having no trouble beating it, but they've been taking up a lot of the shot clock by doing so.
You can just look at the body language of the Wolverines out there. There's just an extra bit of energy as a double team comes.
Shelley, long pass taken away by Feely in the full court. Hybe able to reel it back in. And correction, that's Caton. And now that's going to be a shot clock violation and a turnover by Nebraska. Felia jumped the long cross-court pass from Shelley. She's gotten away with it a couple times, but the freshman read that one like a book in great anticipation to poke it away and force the shot clock violation.
Hey, you had 3 Wolverines pin Shelley in the corner.
Rausch dribbles over to the right wing, now kicks back up top for Leah Brown. Sends Rausch back the other way, now through. Now calls for a ball screen from Hillman. Little hesitation, driving with the right. Kicks to the corner for Felia. Swung back up top for Rausch. Rausch, one dribble, wanted the pass inside, but it's stolen away. Threw it right into the hands of Hybe. Now pushing in the full court, looking to end the drought, won't go. Markowski gets the rebound, but immediately turns it over, throws it into the hands of Naz Hillman.
That's their 5th turnover for the Cornhuskers.
Felia's pass inside for Hillman, driving with the left. Step through with the right. That one an easy layup for Naz Hillman, but she isn't able to put it in. And now running in transition the other way is Cravens, finally able to end the drought. The first bucket for Nebraska in almost 5 minutes of game time.
And that's what the Cornhuskers want to do, is they want to play defense and then they want to go on the fast break. And that's what they did to Illinois last night, scoring 21 points off the fast break.
The lead back up to 5 is Rausch with the ball on the left wing. Passes now to the corner to Felia. Rausch gets it right back. She's got 5 seconds on the shot clock to work. Lob pass inside for Hillman. Dribbles once with the left, goes up at the end of the shot clock and gets it to go. That one a tough bucket from Naz Hillman.
Emphasize the word tough. Shot clock winding down. Hillman fading away. Nothing but net on that one.
Turn around, one-legged jumper from Naz Hillman. As Shelley drives baseline, tried to go up and under, has it stolen away. Loose ball, and Hillman pulls it down. Pushing in transition, Williams and Shelley are in the backcourt, so it's 4-on-4. That's going to be a foul called. Hybe got all up on Leah Brown. That one's going to be her first. But Brown now will shoot 2 shots as she's in the bonus. Felia and Williams head to the bench, and they're met with a standing ovation from the Michigan faithful. Checking in is Maddie Nolan and Emily Kiser. 2:27 left to play here in the half as Leah Brown, shooting two, hits the first one, and this one now a 2-point ball game, 30-28. As we mentioned before, Nebraska led by as much as 14 at one point. Leah Brown looking to cut that lead to 1, and she does. Now Brown, a perfect 4 for 4 from the line on the night.
Yeah, and the Wolverines doing all this without a single three-pointer yet.
2:20 left to play, and the Michigan fans are getting loud here in Indianapolis. Calling for a ball screen is Weidner. Trying to go back to her left hand. Danielle Rausch doing a nice job defending low. Pass outside for Hybe. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Offensive foul called on Markowski Lowe. She was fighting for position with Emily Kiser and pushed her in the back. And inexperienced play from the freshman. And now looks like she'll probably go to the bench, and she does. In check Stewart. Markowski heads to the bench with 2 fouls here in the first half. Something you like to see if you're Coach Kim Barnes-Arico and the Michigan Wolverines. As the clock ticks down, now just under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. As the ball's poked out of bounds, it'll stay Michigan ball.
Yeah, Michigan looking to get their first lead of this game.
Michigan now on a 15-2 run. Leah Brown pulls up, and Michigan back on top. 31-30. The Wolverines ahead. Hybe comes down low, dump down pass for Stewart, and she takes the lead right back. But seems like Michigan has all the momentum right now. Minute 30 left to play here. Handoff to Leah Brown. Guarded by Shelley, gets to the middle of the lane, up and under with the left hand. That shot won't go. Rebound pulled down by Stewart. Almost travels, just barely able to get it away to Hybe. Hybe gets to the middle, kicks up for Cravens. Her layup won't go. Rausch pulls down the rebound. Pushing in transition now is Leah Brown. Picked up by Shelley just before half court, and Michigan able to get it over. Rausch bounce pass inside was for Hillman. Hillman dives on the ground to pull it in as it was poked away by Cravens. 10 seconds left in the shot clock now. Hillman slipping inside, up with the right hand, gets it blocked, gets her own rebound, and puts it up and in. Hillman's now got 10 and 7 in the first half. Make it 10 and 8. They're going to give her a rebound credit for that one. Under 40 seconds left to play. The Wolverines back out in front. Hybe in and out crossover, getting all the way around Leah Brown to the lane. Her layup won't go. Stewart tips it away right into the hands of Maddie Nolan. And now the shot clock's dead. Michigan going to look for the last shot here in the first half. Shelley almost fouls Leah Brown there. 12 seconds left. Bounce pass to Nolan. 10 seconds. Now make it 6, 5, 4 left in the quarter. 3, 2. Kiser puts up a 3 at the buzzer, and it goes! The senior Emily Kiser, and Michigan surges on a 22-4 run in the last 8 minutes of the first half to take a 4-point lead going into halftime. They were down by as much as 14 in the first half, but Michigan not fazed at all. What an end to the half for the Michigan Wolverines.
I'll tell you what, the 6'3" senior does not typically shoot threes, and it was obviously visible out there that she didn't want that, but with the clock winding down, she gets her 9th three-pointer of the season to fall and gives Michigan a 4-point lead heading into the locker room. What a turn of events in that second quarter for these Michigan Wolverines.
What a turn of events. That one you mentioned. Michigan hadn't made a 3 up until that point. Kiser drains it to extend the Wolverines to 1 for 5 from downtown, but the shooting woes picked up there, as I mentioned, a 22-4 run in the last 8 minutes of that half. And Coach Kim Barnes-Arico and the Michigan Wolverines are back on top.
Yeah, just a 22-4 run to close out the half. And it all starts with defense, because you can look at that first quarter for the Michigan Wolverines. Nebraska just had a continuation of exactly everything that they did last night. They were getting every possible bucket to fall, and then you know, Michigan started playing a little bit more ferocious defense out there, and then they take a 4-point lead heading into the locker room.
What an end to the first half. But with that, that is going to do it for first half coverage of WCBN Sports. Here live from Indianapolis, Indiana, my name is Charlie Brigham. Alongside me, again, Amer Bektas. We will meet you back here in about 10 minutes for the second half. One last recap of the score. Michigan up 36-32. What a first half from Naz Hillman. Almost a double-double. 10 points and 8 rebounds. Again, we will see you in 10 minutes. Hello and welcome back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball live here from Indianapolis, Indiana. My name is Charlie Brigham, alongside me, Amer Bektas, and we are just about set to go, about 3.5 minutes away from the second half. And looking back at half number one, what a turn of events. Nebraska led by as much as 14, but Naz Hillman and the Michigan Wolverines never stopped fighting. A 22-4 run in the last 7 minutes and 54 seconds of game time in that half. And now Michigan up by 4, 36-32. Hillman leading the way with 10 points and 8 rebounds. Leah Brown with 10 points of her own. And a storyline we mentioned back in the first half, Leah Brown, a transfer from Nebraska last year to join this squad of the Michigan Wolverines. So this one's extra important if you're Leah Brown.
A little bit of extra motivation, to say the least, but, you know, Michigan getting behind their two seniors, getting 20 points, and then 18 points down in the paint. And you also have to emphasize the points off turnovers. They had 14 points off the turnovers, and they ended the half with a 22-4 run. You know, it all starts with defense, and Nebraska was not ready for the ferocious defense that the Michigan Wolverines were throwing at them, and that's the whole reason why Michigan's now up by 4.
All season long, Michigan has struggled with the turnovers. Looking back at that Indiana game in Chrysler Center, Michigan was able to come away with the win, but had 17 turnovers in the first half. Today, just 6. Obviously, 6 more than Coach Kim Barnes-Rico would like, but definitely an improvement. Michigan doing a great job taking care of the ball. Nebraska on the other end with 9 turnovers, and 2 of them responsible due to Cameron Williams using her length up top.
And then, you know, the Wolverines are also doing pretty well to stay out of foul trouble. You know, they got 5 fouls total, each spread out against 5 different players. On the other side, Nebraska's not doing that as well. They have 10 personal fouls, and you have Bourne with already 3. But, you know, Markowski, that's the one that's that's the player you do not want to have in foul trouble. She has 2 fouls and only 4 points in that half. She had 20 against the Wolverines when they met back January 4th in Lincoln, Nebraska. So, Wolverines obviously having an answer for her. And then Shelly, you know, she had a fantastic performance last night. She only has 2 points tonight. She had a career performance with a career high with 32 points last night against the Fighting Illini. But a little bit of a tougher opponent tonight for sure.
Layla Felia, one of the best on-ball defenders in all of the Big Ten. She's been Michigan's go-to when they need someone locked up, and she's done a great job of locking up Shelley so far in this one, looking to continue that to the second half.
Yeah, you mentioned Layla Felia, the 6-foot freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, also named to the Big Ten all-freshman team. You know, she got some serious playing time down the stretch in crucial moments. You know, she's averaging just under 9 minutes per game, but we can see today KBA definitely relying on that type of defense from her.
Both teams put up some threes before the start of the second half. Want to flash back to the end of that first half. Michigan held for the last shot when they were up by 1. And a bit of a broken play turned into an Emily Kiser buzzer beater from downtown for her 9th of the season to put Michigan in the position where they are right now.
Yeah, that last play right there was great. I mean, you had 5 seconds left. Kiser on the far elbow. You know, she was looking to go down low. Everybody was marked up. Time winding down. Kiser launches up a 3. First 3-point of the night. Kiser's 9th of the season.
The horn sounds, and we are set to go. We'll flip ends, and it'll be Nebraska to inbound. Michigan with that 4-point lead we mentioned, 36-32. As we are just about set for second half action. On the floor for Nebraska, it's Shelley, Weidner, Hybe, Bourne, and rounding out that 5 is Markowski. 1 asterisk to mention, Bourne with 3 personal fouls already. She started the game and then sat most of the first half after picking up, as I mentioned, 3 fouls early. On the floor for Michigan, it's the starting lineup back out there. Hillman, Nolan, Felia, Rausch, and Kiser. You hear a Go Blue chant between the Michigan cheerleaders and band, as alongside the Michigan faithful right behind the bench. And there's the inbounds pass from Shelley, and we're set to go. It'll be Hybe to bring it up, guarded by Maddie Nolan in the half court. Passed over onto the wing to the far side to Bourne. Bourne now up over to Shelley. Passes over to the left wing, and getting a three to go early is Weidner.
All right. Wonder what Coach Amy Williams told her team in the locker room as they score on their first possession of the half.
Weidner, a very good shooter. She's not going to miss any of those when they're that wide open. Ophelia driving downhill on Markowski with the right hand. Kick back pass out to Maddie Nolan. Nolan now gets a ball screen from Kiser. Will drive to the left. Cross-court pass for Ophelia. Lob pass inside for Hillman, who squares up now. One dribble with the left hand. Steps to the right hand. Puts up a tough shot. Won't go. Gets her own rebound. Left-handed layup. Now misses that one, and pulling down the rebound is the person who made the three on the other end, Weidner. Pushing in transition. Now kicks up to Hybe. Hybe up top for Bourne. Swung all the way around the horn. Now inside for Markowski, and coming over to rip it out of her hand. That's going to be a jump ball call. Is Danielle Rausch.
Yeah, great play by Danielle Rausch right there. You know, she gambled a little bit by putting her hands in there. But, you know what this team is going to do when they try to get it down low to number 40. You know, she's going to try to go to the basket, and, you know, the help defense came.
So Rausch, after forcing the turnover, will bring it up in the full court. Michigan up by 1, 36-35, with just under 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Pass to the elbow for Ophelia, now getting a ball screen from Hillman, splitting the defense. Tough shot with the left hand, and she's going to be fouled. That one's going to go against Markowski, her third personal.
Yeah, I wonder how much longer this coaching staff is going to want to leave her out there, especially now that she has 3 fouls, and we're only less than 2 minutes into the half, or the quarter.
Ophelia's first free throw attempt, no good. A bit too short off the front of the rim. Flashing back to Danielle Rausch, forcing that turnover in the half court. That's just a very high IQ play by the senior Rausch, recognizing what Markowski wants to do. In 30 games played this season, Markowski only has 15 assists. So you know when she gets the ball in the low post, she's going to try to score. When she puts the ball on the floor, especially as, you know, a young freshman who doesn't have much experience, you can take advantage of those opportunities. Foul called on Ophelia up near half court, trying to trap Jazz Shelley. That one, Ophelia's first. Leah Brown will check in for Ophelia. 8:31 left to play here in quarter number 3. Michigan up 37-35. Shelley inbounds cleanly to Hybe, who will bring it to the middle of the floor now. Guarded closely by Danielle Rausch. Hybe now bounce pass to the elbow for Bourne. Shelley had a back cut, but Maddie Nolan right there on the defense. Hybe spins around Kiser, gets to the lane, and she misses the layup, but fouled. Going to call it on Maddie Nolan, say she caught her on the arm trying to recover. That one, Nolan's second personal.
The team's second at the line for Nebraska, Sam Hybe. 2 shots.
Hybe steps to the line, the leading scorer for this Nebraska team last year, an 81% free throw shooter. She knocks down number 1. Hillman and Kiser down low. Hybe's second free throw off the right side of the rim, and pulling down the rebound is Leah Brown. Michigan still up 37-36 with 8 minutes left to play. Rausch pulls the ball out near half court to reset the offense. Now passes over to Kiser on the right wing. Kiser in that same spot where she hit the 3 to end the first half. Hillman, tough layup, won't go. Kiser chasing after it. Pulls down the rebound. Kick out for Maddie Nolan. Open 3. That one too short. Markowski pulls it down. Rausch tipped it out of her hands, but right into the hands of Hybe. Now passes up. Jazz Shelley for 3. That one's good. She had 9 of them last night. That one her first of this ball game.
Yeah, that first of the ball game, 5th point of the night.
Hillman driving right on Markowski, who stood straight up to avoid the foul with 3 personals, and that one an easy layup for the All-American.
There's only so much she can do. I mean, with 3 fouls, you got to play a little bit more conservative on the defensive side of the ball.
Nebraska got the switch they wanted. Danielle Rausch on Jazz Shelley. She has to give it up. Shelley now fighting around a ball screen. Now switches on to Leah Brown. Gets another ball screen from Markowski. Gets around Kiser, driving all the way inside baseline, and she's fouled hard. Won't go.
Yeah, looking at that one in live, it looks like she almost dived into Leah Brown. So you would kind of almost hope that Leah Brown would have just stopped where she was, and then Shelly would have just, like, blown by her because she went up. She didn't even go up for the foul. She basically dove into Brown to, like, bounce off of her.
Shelly will shoot 2. Cravens checks in for Markowski, who takes a quick break.
Yeah, Jazz Shelly, a 76.5% free throw shooter. So, you know, this team's pretty good from the charity stripe.
Knocks them both down, and now Nebraska out in front for the first time in half number 2. 41-39 with under 7 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Rausch dribbles over right in front of her own bench. Wanted the pass inside for Hillman, now gets it. Emily Kiser cutting the basket, left-handed layup, and that one's good.
Great find by Naz Hillman. The double team comes, and then Kiser just threw the lane unmarked.
Kiser had a bunch of open looks like that early in the first half. A great cutter, but unable to convert. She gets that one to go. Shelley driving to the middle of the lane, floater. Too soft and misses off the front of the rim. Kiser pulls down the rebound. 41-41, 6:23 left to play.
With Markowski not out there, the double team is coming to Naz Hillman.
Sloppy pass from Leah Brown is taken away. Hybe pushing up in transition, kicks up top for Shelley, kicks to the corner. That one, a 3 airballed. Weidner missed way left, and Kiser will reel it in. Bounce pass inside for Hillman. Tried to hit a cutting Kiser, who just let it go by her. Right into the hands of Jazz Shelley. Weidner now with a coast-to-coast layup. And Nebraska back out in front. 2 unfortunate turnovers from Michigan. We mentioned at the halftime break that they had played a pretty clean first half, but 2 turnovers already here in quarter number 3. Leah Brown driving downhill on Jazz Shelley, kicks out to Maddie Nolan, gets inside, drives with the left hand, and a nice layup will go.
And when you have a player like Markowski out on the bench right now, you got to use that open lane to your advantage if you're the Wolverines.
Jazz Shelley pulled up for a deep 3 over Maddie Nolan, who won't go. Leah Brown now running in transition, and she's fouled. It's going to be an offensive foul called from the opposite side of the floor.
I'd like to see replay of that one.
Yeah, that one questionable for sure, and that one's Leah Brown's 3rd personal.
So foul trouble could become an issue for both these teams down the stretch.
We're locked at 43 with 5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Cravens with the ball up top. Now swung over to Stewart. Hand off to Shelley. Stewart pulls up for 3. She made 2 in the first half, and that one no good. Rausch pulls down the rebound. Pushing up in transition now for Felia. She's got a head of steam, driving with the right hand. Kicks out for Kiser on the right wing. Up top for Leah Brown now. Shoulder shot. Getting in with the left hand. Fighting through contact, and it'll go. Wanted the foul call. Won't get it. But that one's still a good bucket from Brown, and now she's tied with Hillman once more with 12 points. As they show the replay on the board, there was definitely some contact. Caton driving to the middle of the floor, now kicks back. Ball inside for Stewart, puts up a tough shot over Danielle Rausch, and it'll fall.
Yeah, just a mismatch down low. Cornhuskers able to expose it.
Leah Brown stepped through with the left hand. That one too far off the left side. Stewart pushes up in transition. It's Shelley now. Nebraska just out and running. Inside for Cravens. Might have gotten away with a travel, and there's going to be a foul called. Looks like this one might be on Hillman from behind, and it is. That one, Naz Hillman's 2nd personal.
I would really like to see the Wolverines slow it down a little bit, because that's what the Cornhuskers want you to do, is they want you to play a much faster pace of basketball, and then they'll get you on the fast breaks, and, you know, they'll force Michigan into those tough turnovers. I can go back a couple of possessions when they tried to make the cross-court pass, similar to when Kiser was cutting to the basket, but it was almost confusing of, was the pass intended for a cutting Kiser through the lane or a Maddie Nolan in the corner? So that's how that one kind of got picked off, and we're tied at 45 with 4:05 left. But, you know, as long as number 40, Alexis Markowski, is on the bench, Wolverines got to expose that down low, and, like, you'd like to see them slow the game down just a little bit.
Nebraska's gotten a lot of whistles early. With 4:05 left to play here in the third quarter, Nebraska already in the bonus. Michigan with 5 team fouls. Nebraska only 1. Jazz Shelley's picked up her offensive production a bit. Knocked down that 3 as well as a pair of free throws now with 7 points. Weidner still leading the way alongside Stewart with 12 apiece for both of them on the side of Michigan. Hillman and Brown with 12 of their own. Hillman now with 4 minutes left to play in the third quarter, just 1 rebound shy of a double-double. Most double-doubles all time in Michigan history. The first player all time with 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. You know, it seems like we're just a couple months away from 00 getting hung in the rafters at Chrysler Center.
Yeah, I mean, she was a 4-star recruit, number 58 in the ESPN poll when she came to Michigan, and, you know, she's definitely left an impact that will be felt for years to come. And a huge reason why this Michigan team is so successful.
Projected number 4 pick in the upcoming WNBA draft. But she's just so much more of a basketball player, an incredible team leader, and just an incredible person in general.
Yeah, I mean, I've ran into Naz in many events. She loves supporting Michigan athletics. You know, I've seen her at soccer games. I mean, usually soccer games don't get that much attendance, but Naz was in the student section, you know, cheering on, you know, loving the university.
The horn sounds, and we are set to go. Both teams get their first warning in Nebraska. Already out there on the floor. It's going to be Shelley, Weidner, Caton, Cravens, and Stewart to round it out. And for Michigan, it's going to be Hillman, Felia, Rausch, Leah Brown, and Emily Kiser. Saw Michigan go to the bench early with Amy Dilk, Isabel Verjao, and Elise Stuck all getting minutes in the early pieces of the first half. Since then, it's really been that main rotation of 6 or 7 players that we've seen all year. The starting 5 alongside Leah Brown and Cameron Williams, the only ones getting significant minutes. Cravens to shoot 2. First one gets a friendly bounce. Nebraska out in front, 46-45 with 4:05 left to play here in the third quarter. Another friendly bounce. That one sat up on the rim for a very long time before finally finding the bottom. Nebraska now an almost perfect 9 for 10 from the stripe today. Pass up top. Nolan now swung over to the left wing for Danielle Rausch. Nolan had a back cut. Pass over to Hillman. Hillman swung to the corner. Maddie Nolan puts up a 3, hesitated for a half second and leaves it short.
Yeah, Nolan now 0 for 3 behind the arc, you know. It's kind of tough. I mean, Wolverines are 1 for 7 from downtown.
Caton with the ball right in front of her own bench. Little jab to the right. Now it's going to be a block called on Cameron Williams. A very late call again. Williams seemed to be in the restricted area, but also at the same time, Caton seemed to just be completely out of control there.
Oh, yeah. Caton was coming in down the baseline, you know, just a full head of steam. And, you know, Cameron, she almost, I think she landed and then took Williams down with her.
Caton knocks down the first, extending the Huskers' lead to 3, 48-45, with just under 3.5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Leaves the second one short. Maddie Nolan pulls down the rebound, and now will push up in transition for Rausch. Rausch had to pick up her dribble early, getting it away to Feely, and now Michigan resets with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Rausch guarded by Shelley, kicks over to Feely on the far side. Hesitation, kicks over to Rausch now for 3. That one hits the front of the rim, no good. Loose ball, and is pulled down by Stewart. Feely tried to take it away when Nebraska able to get out and push. Caton getting all the way downhill, puts up a sloppy layup, but Maddie Nolan called for a late foul. That one going to be her 3rd personal.
Yeah, lots of whistles in this third quarter as Alexis Markowski checks back into this game. And right away, Emily Kiser coming in too, and Leah Brown for the Wolverines.
Kiser and Brown return for the Wolverines.
Nebraska will shoot 2. Still in the bonus. Five fouls came early for Michigan in this one now. Up closer to 7 or 8 in the third quarter. Nebraska still with only one team foul in quarter number 3. Caton misses the first and hits the second. 4-point lead now, 45-49 in favor of the Huskers. Brown will bring it up in the full court. Passes over to Rausch. Kick to the corner for Felia. Rausch now cutting the basket. Had Jazz Shelley on her hip, but the freshman Felia missed her. Leah Brown driving downhill. Kicked over to Rausch. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Pass inside for Hillman. Kick out. Felia now driving right hand downhill. There was a sloppy kick out pass for Leah Brown. Getting to her spot. Step through with the left hand. That one a tough bucket from Leah Brown.
Tough bucket, friendly roll-in for Leah Brown, cutting the Nebraska lead down to 2.
Step through left-handed floater from the elbow, and Nebraska answering right back. Caton hits a 3 right over Leah Brown.
Ice cold 3.
And then Brown turns it over on the other end. Jazz Shelley has the whole floor to work. Bounce pass in for Caton, and there's going to be, looks like a foul called.
Yeah, an intentional foul on Emily Kiser right there, grabbing Shelley as she was just going quickly in, and, you know, it's a smart foul. It's a smart foul. You know, send her to the free throw line, because right now Nebraska is playing with some energy.
We saw this in the first half. Nebraska got out to a big lead. Michigan was able to string together some buckets and battle back. Shelley will shoot 2. Knocks down the first. Now 3 for 3 on the night. Michigan down by 6, 53-57 with 2 minutes left to play here in quarter number 3. Shelley makes this Husker lead 7. Now Michigan in familiar territory. They're down. Gonna have to battle back here in Indianapolis. Pass over to the left wing for Leah Brown. Gets a ball screen from Kiser. Gets to the middle of the floor, now dribbles back. Passes over to Kiser. Gets it back on a handoff. Gets to the elbow and is fouled. That one on Shelley up near the elbow.
Yeah, Brown almost getting bailed out right there. Credit for her for maintaining her foot on the ground to not get the travel and just bumping into Shelley.
The foul will reset the shot clock back to 20. Lob up to Leah Brown. Her shot won't go. Sat on the rim for a while before rolling off to the left-hand side. Shelley turns it over. Felia right there to take it away. 1:30 left to play here in quarter number 3. Michigan looking to get a bucket. Bounce pass inside for Hillman. Fighting through a lot of contact. Skip pass. Layla Felia with an open 3. The freshman hits. The lead cut to 4. Felia not really a prominent shooter on this Michigan team, but she has delivered in key situations this year. Driving downhill and taking her second charge of the day is Emily Kiser, but she's down.
I think Kiser hit the back of her head. Or was that Brown or Kiser that took the charge?
Would be Emily Kiser. She shakes that one off. Cameron Williams checks in for Naz Hillman.
But let's go back to that Layla Felia 3-pointer, you know. The double team is coming to Naz. You throw it to the wide open person and, you know, knock it down. If they're going to give you the opportunity, shoot. Like, every coach will tell you that.
It is getting loud here as Leah Brown draws another foul. Stepping out way high was Brown trying to hedge, and that's her 4th personal foul, and we're still in the third quarter.
Yeah, foul trouble could become an issue if it isn't already.
Nebraska unhappy with that foul call. That will bring in Cravens. Pass gets inbounded to Leah Brown. Working around Cravens, now getting back to her left hand in the middle of the lane. Tried to kick it away, and Felia brings in the loose ball. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Passes to Kiser, gets it back. Felia now driving downhill with 5 seconds to work. Kick out pass. Leah Brown at the buzzer, won't go off the right side. Loose ball. Kiser running after it, tipped out of bounds, and it's going to be called Nebraska ball. Now the referees are going to confer.
From up top, it looked like it was Michigan ball.
And now it's going to be Michigan basketball. Danielle Rausch doing a great job of getting right in the baseline referee's ear and saying, you go talk to her. You had a better angle at that one.
Give us the whistle. We saw that from up here.
8 seconds separating the shot and game clock. Shot clock reset to 20. Felia driving downhill to the middle of the lane. Now passes to Kiser, who hits a cutting Danielle Rausch. 10 seconds left in the shot clock now. Rausch bounce pass to Kiser. Kiser with a deep two at top of the key, and it'll go.
That's got to feel good for Emily Kiser, who's been struggling tonight as that one goes through and rips the nylon.
Putting up a tough shot and getting the foul call is Hybe. So she'll head to line with 1.8 seconds left.
That's her third. The foul sends Sam Hybe to the line for the Huskers. She'll have a pair. Stewart back.
Markowski will head to the bench with 1.8 left in the quarter. Checking in for her is Stewart. Also checking in is Caton for Jazz Shelley.
Along with Caton.
54-52, Nebraska leads with just under 2 seconds left. Making it a 3-point lead is Hybe as she drains the first. The second from Hybe. That one will drop as well, so Michigan has 1.8 seconds to work. Kiser gets the pass up to Felia, who fails to put up a shot, and that'll bring us to the fourth quarter. Nebraska up 4, 56-52.
What a quarter. Plenty of whistles, plenty of stoppage. You know, big name players picking up fouls down the stretch right there, but Nebraska, you know, they came out of the locker room ready to go, scoring a three-pointer on that first possession, opening possession of the half. And, you know, Michigan's sticking around, but this game's going to come down to who can play the best defense out on the court, and that's where Michigan's been the most successful, is playing really good defense, forcing their opponents into tough shots and turnovers, and then they just go. They go quick. So whichever team can limit the turnovers will be the team that pulls this one out, because it's been back and forth, up except for the first quarter, because that was all Nebraska.
Both teams obviously going to have to focus on the defensive end. A huge part of that is focusing on playing defense without fouling. We look back at quarter number 2. Michigan went on that 22-4 run to end the quarter and end the half, and a huge part of that was they got Nebraska in foul trouble. They had to send their bigs to the bench. They could take advantage of mismatches, got in the bonus early. In quarter number 3, Nebraska did just the same. Was sitting in the bonus for a majority of that third quarter, and a huge reason why they're out in front by 4 here. 56-52. We've got 10 minutes left in regulation. Potential for some free basketball, as this one has been a close game for a majority of it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can look at the stat book. You know, both teams basically identical, you know, points in the paint. Nebraska with 21, Michigan with 18. But the difference so far of this game has been the team that is shooting well behind the arc. Michigan only 20%, 2 of 10 from downtown. And, you know, Nebraska 50%, getting 7 buckets from downtown. The key difference in this battle tonight.
Credit to Michigan for doing the work down low. I mean, they're down by 4, and like you mentioned, Nebraska's hit 5 more threes than them. Both teams just about set to break their huddles. Stepping onto the floor for Nebraska, it's going to be Hybe, Shelley, Weidner, Markowski, and Cravens to round out that 5. And for Michigan, looks like it's going to be Leah Brown, Emily Kiser, Naz Hillman, Danielle Rausch, and Layla Felia. It'll be Huskers ball coming out of the quarter break. Shelley to inbound, gets it in cleanly to Hybe in the backcourt. And now the clock starts ticking. 10 minutes left to play here. Michigan down by 4, and Danielle Rausch gets a steal right off the opening pass from Hybe. Hits a cutting Leah Brown at the elbow. Shot fake, dribbles with the left hand, kick back out for Rausch. And now Michigan resets. Hillman drives downhill with the right hand, kick out. Layla Felia for 3 again, and that one goes.
Leah Philia's second three-pointer of the night. You know, we mentioned earlier, not the greatest three-point shooter, but 2 tonight.
And 1 layup on Cravens. That foul called on Emily Kiser, her 3rd personal. Hybe missed the layup wide, fell right into the hands of Cravens, who jumped backwards up into Emily Kiser.
At the line for Nebraska, looking to complete the three-point play.
Nebraska with a 3-point lead, looking to make it 4. And it'll stay at 3 as Cravens puts that one well off the back iron. 9:20 left to play here in this game. Michigan down by 3. It's 58-55. Rausch working as the floor general up top. Tried to hit a Leah Brown cutting back door, but it's tipped out of bounds. Jazz Shelley doing a nice job showing off the hands there. It'll be Michigan ball underneath with 8 seconds left in the shot clock.
Yeah, Danielle Rausch just trying to be a little bit, walk that fine line. They get bailed out. They maintain possession, but only 8 seconds on the shot clock. I think the referees want to confirm that there was no change of possession, so it should remain at 8 as long as they stopped it at the right time.
I think that's seems to be from the referee's hand motion. What they're trying to confirm is that the shot clock was stopped as the ball went out of bounds.
I think they're going to add some time on. Yeah, a second.
Shot clock goes from 8 seconds to 9 seconds, so Michigan will have a little bit more time to work.
Yeah, and this is a free timeout now for the Wolverines as both teams are huddling to figure out what they want to do. I mean, 9 seconds.
It'll be Rausch to inbound with 9 seconds on the shot clock. It's Kiser and Hillman down low. Felia coming across and setting a screen for Hillman now. Flashing out is Felia. 8 seconds to work now. Kicked up top for Leah Brown. Jabs left and now drives to the side, and it's going to draw a foul on Jazz Shelley, her 2nd personal.
Jazz Shelley, her 2nd. The team's 1st.
So identical now, except now the Wolverines have 20 seconds on the shot clock. Actually, they're going to switch the inbound to the far side of the court instead of under the basket.
Rausch to inbound once more, gets it in cleanly to Brown. 2 dribbles with the right hand, tries to bring it back out. Cross court, no look pass to Felia. Felia, lob pass inside for Hillman. She's got 10 seconds to work. Dribbles twice with the right hand, goes up and misses the layup. Loose ball, and Markowski pulls it down. Cravens tried to draw the charge, but good no call by the referee. And a travel called on the other end. Weidner spun around Leah Brown. Kiser stood right up to take it away from her, and she panicked and walked. Now, 2 out of 3 possessions for Nebraska so far in this quarter have led to turnovers. 8.5 minutes left to play. Nebraska still up by 3, 58-55. Felia trying to drive downhill with the right hand, gets all the way in, and she's going to be fouled. That one will go against Weidner, her 2nd personal.
Yeah, Felia now going back to the free throw line. She's shooting 50% from the charity stripe tonight, but she has 9 points. She's played 22 minutes for the Wolverines. Now just a freshman getting big minutes.
Make it double digits as Felia knocks down free throw number 1. Hillman and Kiser down low won't have to do anything as both free throws from Felia drop. It's now a 1-point lead for Nebraska, 58-57 with 8:20 left to play here in regulation. Pass up top for Cravens, swung over to Shelley. Cravens now cutting back door, and Leah Brown right there to take it away. Great read from the 5th-year senior, or 4th-year senior. Correction is, speaking of seniors, Emily Kiser draws a foul up near half court. That one, Jazz Shelley, her now 3rd personal, 2nd of the quarter.
We're gonna have a review to see if there was, enough, or they signaled for a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock, but just a high IQ play there by Brown to pick off and force a turnover.
8 minutes left to play here. Michigan still down by 1. Felia, couple size up dribbles on her right hand, now driving downhill with the left, all the way to the basket. And that one's good. Had a wide open lane on the nice crossover. And now speaking of wide open, Jazz Shelley had an open look from 3 and missed it. Rausch pushing up a transition. Felia, Euro step up at the left, and another one's good for the freshman. The lead for Michigan now 61-58 as the Wolverines are on a 6-0 run here. Hybe working inside, kick out pass. Weidner on the far side. Her three-pointer won't go. Cravens pulls it down, kicks out to Shelley. Shelley from way beyond the arc, and that one will fall.
That was a deep, deep three by Jazz Shelley. And we're all tied up at 61.
Cuts Michigan's 6-0 run. Felia gets the ball screen from Kiser, driving downhill, fighting through contact, and that's going to be an offensive foul called. And that one is questionable at best.
Yeah, but Markowski, I think they want to talk this one over to see if Markowski was in the restricted area. If they were overturned, that's their 4th personal.
We're going to have a quick word over there. Both teams get sent back to their benches, and looks like they're going to go to the table to look at this one.
And I think that's the only thing they can review.
The monitor is up, so hopefully we get a look up here on the Jumbotron. And it's going to be Michigan using their challenge on that one.
Yeah, if this one gets overturned, that could be a huge turning point for the Wolverines. And, you know, I'm curious to see what this Nebraska coaching staff would elect to do if Markowski gets her 4th foul. Do they leave her in and, you know, ride with it and tell her, you know, be careful, or do they take her out? Because the Wolverines have been most successful when she's sitting out on the bench.
It's a tied ball game right now. We're locked at 61, 7:04 left to play. We're having a long discussion. Looks like we finally reached a verdict. And it is going to be reversed. A successful challenge from Coach Kim Barnes-Arico. And that one's going to go, like you said, Amer, against Markowski. Alexis Markowski now with 4 personal fouls, and she'll probably take a seat for the next good while.
This right here is going to be a turning point in the game. You're tied up at 61. We got a tie ball game, 7:04 left. The best player, not stats-wise in this game at least, but like when she's out on the floor, Markowski, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, is on the bench now. So this could be a crucial point. Now the Wolverines, they got to use this to their advantage and go out on those 6-10-0 runs like they've shown they can do. But once again, it's going to come down to defense and who can play the best defense. If this turns into a shootout where we're going back and forth, I think Nebraska is a little bit better in these situations because that's the type of basketball they like to play. They like to play the up-tempo, quick basketball.
Quick flashback back to the first quarter. The double move from Danielle Rausch, named the Old Trapper play of the game. Crossed over to the left hand, went behind the back to get Hybe running the other direction, and then a wide open left-handed layup. So it looks like it's going to be Cravens to check in for Markowski.
Got the DJ playing some sick beats out here tonight. You know, it is 10:30 and a late 9 p.m. tip, but it's March. We don't sleep in March. We sleep in May.
7:04 left to play here. It's going to be 2 shots for Michigan. 61-61 the score. The whistle sounds to bring Nebraska back onto the court. It's going to be Layla Felia to shoot 2 free throws. The freshman leading the way for Michigan with 15 points. 5 of 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from downtown, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Looking to make it 5 for 6 here.
After the successful appeal by the Wolverines, that sends Felia to the line for Michigan. 2 shots.
Nolan and Danielle Rausch have a quick conversation in the backcourt. Felia's first free throw gets a friendly roll and it'll drop. Make it 16 points now for the freshman. Free throw number 2. Nothing but net. Michigan out in front now by 2. 63-61 as the clock ticks under 7 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Now the Wolverines just got to play good man-to-man defense out there, force the Cornhuskers into a turnover.
Bourne is on the floor right now for Nebraska, and she's got 4 fouls, and that one going to be a backcourt violation. Hybe turned it over herself. Hillman and Maddie Nolan came up to hedge the ball screen, and Hybe lost control.
Yeah, one of them, it seemed like they got a slight, just a tip of the ball, and then just Nebraska, the turnover, over and back.
It'll be Kiser to inbound. Gets it in cleanly to Rausch in the backcourt. 6:45 left to play here. Michigan with a 2-point lead. Pass up top to the freshman Felia, leading the way. Swings over to Rausch now. Rausch inside for Hillman. 2 dribbles with the left hand. Trying to go up, fighting through contact, and finally getting the call. Hillman started going up. Cravens had a hand on the ball. Had she gone up, it probably would have been called a jump. Hillman reset her body, spun her back to her, and then came right back with the same move and drew the foul.
Yeah, if you ask the Nebraska players, they would have liked to see that one be called a travel. But nonetheless, Hillman will go through the free throw line. Gets her 5th one to fall of the night. Hillman now up to 13 points.
Hillman takes a walk back to the 3-point line. As we have another quick stoppage of play. This one,
I think we have more.
Seems to be for another injury timeout. Hybe runs over to the bench and has, looks like her right knee cleaned up really quick.
You'd like to see a substitute for this one. I mean, if the player can't go quickly, sub him. That's exactly what we're seeing.
And it is going to be Weidner having to check in for Hybe.
Allison Weidner.
So after Nebraska ices Hillman a little bit with the injury timeout. Hillman to look to make it a 5-point ball game. Correction, 4-point ball game is the lead now 65-61 for the Michigan Wolverines. Weidner will bring it up in the full court, guarded by Maddie Nolan. Pass over to the wing in front of the Nebraska bench to Jazz Shelley. Shelley now over to Caton. Caton driving hard with the right-hand baseline. Rausch right there to stop her. Now pass to Shelley. She'll try to reset. She's got 12 seconds on the shot clock. Shelley drives with the right hand, tries to come back to the left. Can't get anything going. Kicked over to Weidner. She's got 4 seconds to work. Driving inside and throws it right into the hands of Naz Hillman. That one's going to be a block for the All-American and a turnover for Nebraska.
Just fantastic defense. And, with the Wolverines having the lead right now, it helps them that Nebraska's taking a lot of time off the clock.
Rausch driving middle. Kick back over to Nolan, who gives her right back. Bounce pass inside for Hillman. Squares up to the basket. Driving hard with the right hand, and that's going to be a foul called down low.
It's going to be called. So they're going to call it before the shot, but, if you're Nebraska with 5:39 left, how long do you let your Big Ten Freshman of the Year stay on the bench? And as I say that, Markowski checks back into this game.
Back in for Nebraska. Cornhuskers over the limit.
So now Nebraska with their 2 best bigs in the ball game in Bourne and Markowski, but both of them have 4 personal fouls.
Yeah, at this point, it's like you got to throw them out. You got to throw them out on the floor. I mean, Naz just sinks her first free throw. But, I mean, this is March. This is tournament time. You have nothing to save. So throw your players out there and, tell them to be smart.
Nebraska in serious foul trouble here. On the court right now, Shelley has 3, Weidner has 2, Hybe has 2, and then as we mentioned, Bourne and Markowski both have 4. Nebraska has also put Michigan in the bonus here in the fourth quarter. 5:30 left to play. Markowski driving downhill on Hillman. Picks up her dribble now. Hybe cuts back door and has an open layup.
Beautiful cut there by Hybe. Back door as Markowski picked up her pass. And, Kiser was there to help, but, she did not want to, or not Kiser. Rausch just was not there, did not want to foul her.
Pass up top to Nolan. Now swung back over to Rausch on the right wing. hits Kiser on a nice backdoor cut. Up and under from Emily. Kiser won't go, gets her own rebound. Kicked back out for Rausch, and there's another 20-second shot clock. Will reset. Rausch drives downhill with the left hand. Nice seal from Hillman, but she misses the layup. 4:45 left to play here as Shelley hits a streaking high B all the way to the basket. And we're tied up. Looks like that might be, yeah, it's a miscommunication on the scoreboard. It's 67-65. Michigan still out in front. Ophelia splits the screen, gets inside. Nice layup with the right hand. A tough finish from the freshman, but she gets it to go.
Ophelia playing a fantastic game now with 19 points.
She did it against Iowa in Chrysler Center when Michigan needed people to step up on the offensive end. The freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, did just that. She's doing the same here in Indianapolis. Kiser picks up her dribble, gets it into the hands of Ophelia. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ophelia, 2 dribbles with the left hand, now gets to the middle, kick back, and that's going to be a travel call.
It'll be Nebraska basketball after the official.
We head to the under 4 media timeout. Michigan out in front 69-65. Nebraska has put Michigan in the bonus. 5 fouls to Michigan's 1. The script from the third quarter has been just completely flipped.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, right now, the way this game is shaping out, I mean, Michigan with a 4-point lead, they're not in serious foul trouble. I mean, you have Nolan with 3 personal fouls and Kiser with 3 personal fouls. But if you look at the other side of the ball, they got some serious players that are in foul trouble. 2 players with 4 fouls, and you still got 3:51 left. How about the play of freshman Leah Brown? You know, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, 19 points, 26 minutes. She has 2 steals on the night. Just a fantastic, fantastic freshman out there for the Wolverines.
Plenty of Wolverines having a night. Hillman with a 16-point, 11-rebound double-double already. You mentioned Ophelia with a team-high 19 points. Kiser's got 9 points and 5 rebounds of her own. Leah Brown also with 12 points, 14 points over on the bench, as well as 3 rebounds and 2 assists. So
yeah.
Michigan definitely spreading the love.
Yeah, Leah Brown, right before that media timeout, went to the scores table to check in, so she'll be back in this game. I mean, 3:51 left. You got to throw everything out there. You cannot leave anything behind.
If you're Nebraska, seeing Leah Brown out there is not something you want. Not only is she a great scorer, something that kind of goes underrated, a fantastic part of her game, is her incredible ability to draw fouls. We saw her draw 2 on Jazz Shelley, 1 on Weidner. Just gets people on her hip, is great at just throwing that head up in the air. People who come to mind do it just as well. Her, Caitlin Clark, Veronica Burton of Northwestern, all very good at that. And that one just, you know, we mentioned things that don't go on the stat sheet. Those are huge, huge, huge when it comes to close games like this.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, points, rebounds, all that stuff is great, but there's plenty of stats out there that don't get recorded. I mean, I'll use what Naz Hillman blocking off Markowski so Maddie Nolan could just drive to the basket for an easy layup. You know, it's just those off-the-ball movement type of plays that open up your teammates so they can get on the stat sheet.
The timeout horn sounds, and we are set to go on the court for Michigan. It's Rausch, Leah Brown, Layla Ophelia, Emily Kiser, and Naz Hillman. For Nebraska, it's going to be Hybe, Weidner, Shelley, Markowski, and Bourne, who's going to inbound in the full court. Rausch will come up and provide a bit of token pressure. Rausch settles back in, and Hybe will bring it up with no pressure at all. 3:45 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Michigan up by 4. Pass up top for Bourne. Hits Shelley coming off a screen for Markowski. Markowski and Hillman battling down low. Lots of contact on both ends. Bourne with a nice scoop left-handed layup. Michigan's lead now just 2, 69-67 with 3:30 to play in this one. Rausch doing a nice job slowing down the tempo. Dribbles over with Weidner on her hip. Now will reset. Bounce pass to Leah Brown, getting inside. Drawing some contact, but no whistle. She misses her pull-up jumper. It's going to be Hybe going all the way in transition. She's going to travel. Tried to go for the gather step around Danielle Rausch and lost the ball. And that one will be enough to draw the whistle.
Yeah, Indiana is all gas, no break right now. They get it done on the defensive side, and then they're going straight to the basket. And right there, you know, you have the travel.
That would be Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Rausch working up top, dribbling over to the right-hand side. Hits Leah Brown at the top of the key. One dribble to the left elbow. Now she'll reset. 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Gets the ball screen from Hillman. Pitches it to her, now gets it right back. End of the shot clock, pull-up jumper, and that one's good. Talk about getting to your spot. That's about Leah Brown's favorite spot in the entire court. Hybe, nice back cut, beats Danielle Rausch, and she's got an up and under layup. Hybe now has 13 points in this one. A majority coming on fantastic back cuts like that. Hillman squares up, tries to dribble towards the middle of the floor and loses her dribble. Weidner steals it, and now she'll head the other way. Full head of steam, getting all the way inside from the left side, and we're tied up at 71. 2 minutes left to play in regulation. Rausch slowing down the tempo. Brown now with the ball on the right wing. Driving with the left hand. Getting inside the elbow, won't go. Hillman's grabs her the rebound and puts it up and in. Wanted the foul call, won't get it. But Michigan back out in front. 73-71, a minute and a half left to play. Hybe draws the in one and gets it to go. A circus shot off the hand of Hybe. Wasn't even looking at the basket, kind of threw it up backwards over her head. What a finish from Hybe.
All right, Sam, Hybe, welcome to the game. Big Ten all honorable mention, making an impact down the stretch.
Converts the and one, and now the Cornhuskers back out in front. 74-73. The Huskers in the advantage position here. Hillman hands off to Felia. 18 seconds left in the shot clock. Markowski hit the deck. No whistle was called. Ball swung cross court to Leah Brown. Showed her shot. 2 dribbles, gets in the middle of the lane. Kick out pass for Rausch. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Brown getting to the middle of the floor. Goes up hard with the left hand. Her layup won't go. Now Nebraska, with under a minute left to play here, is still out in front. It's 74-73, and now the Cornhuskers call timeout.
So they call a timeout. They did not get the ball over the front court. There's 22 seconds left on the shot. So, but man, what a turn of events. Sam Hybe coming up big. And, you know, Michigan on that last possession. Leah Brown had a good look, decent look, just could not get it to fall in. But 53.1 left. Wolverines got to play defense. You know, we talked about it heading into the fourth quarter. What's going to win this game? Limit your turnovers and play good defense. So the Wolverines now got to play good defense. And, you know, Hybe is, you know, the hottest player out on the floor right now. She has 16 points. Nebraska 4 of 4 on their last 4 possessions. Wolverines desperately needing a stop right now. Down by 1.
It'll be Nebraska ball in the half court. Shelley to inbound. 53.1 seconds left in this ball game. Nebraska with a 1-point lead. Hybe, who we just mentioned, will grab it in the half court and now bring it up. Pass over to Bourne on the wing. And now a whistle call, and it's going to be a foul on Naz Hillman. Called for a push in the back.
I'd like to see replay that one out.
Yeah, a lot of contact all the way through there. Markowski hit the ground first, then Hillman, then Jazz Shelley after her.
It looked like it was going to be Markowski's 5th foul. But they call it on Hillman.
45.3 seconds as Hybe will inbound underneath. 74-73, Nebraska out in front. Markowski flashes to the corner. Fields the pass, and now it's tipped out of bounds off the left hand of Danielle Rausch.
Yeah, good defense by Rausch, getting a hand in there, keeping the ball away.
Shelley inbounds cleanly to Hybe. She's got 12 seconds on the shot clock to work. 36 seconds left in this ball game. Weidner passes up top for Hybe, inside towards Markowski. Loses her dribble up against Hillman. Her layup won't go, and now Felia grabs the rebound. Hands up to Leah Brown. And now Coach Kim Barnes-Arico calls timeout. 21 seconds even on the clock. Michigan's going to get the last shot. They're down by 1.
Oh, man. March. Welcome back. We are all on the edge of our seats, but with 21 seconds left in this ball game, Wolverines down by 1. They obviously need a basket. Personally, I do not let this go all the way down. You know, I want to go to who is the best player out there, and I want the ball either in Layla Felia's hands, Naz Hillman, one of those two players, and you got to go quick because I believe in this Michigan defense that they are able to get a stop. So, you know, with about, I would say, 15-ish seconds. So let 6 seconds burn off the clock, and then you run your play. Whatever KBA, Big Ten Coach of the Year, has drawn up, you run that. And then you want to leave Nebraska with less than 5 on the clock.
53 of Michigan's 73 points have come from either Naz Hillman, Layla Felia, or Leah Brown. You've got 3 elite scoring talents on the floor. And the thing is, you only need a 2. The whistle sounds, and we are ready to go. Michigan has 2 timeouts if they need them.
Nebraska has 3 timeouts as well. So, I mean, it's a fine line that you try to figure out is how much time do you want to leave left up to Nebraska. You know, shot clock is turned off, 21 seconds left to play. The ball is going to be inbounded in the backcourt. And, you know, you want the ball. I believe you got to go down low to Naz Hillman.
If you're Nebraska, you also have to be careful not to foul because Michigan is in the bonus.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is you want to go down low to Naz Hillman. And they don't even have Markowski guarding her right now.
Leah Brown inbounds and gets it right back. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Brown dribbling over, bounce pass to Hillman. Hillman squares up to the basket. 10 seconds left now. Driving inside, spinning back to the middle, and puts it right into the hands of Markowski. But it's going to be a jump ball. Michigan will retain possession. They'll inbound underneath now with 8.3 seconds.
Man, Wolverines got lucky right there, having the arrow possession in their favor. But with 8.3, you got to go quick now.
8.3 seconds. And the rest of the Big Ten tournament on the line as Danielle Rausch throws it away. And Nebraska gets fouled with 5.5 seconds, but Nebraska's still not in the bonus.
Michigan foul. Danielle Rausch, her second.
Leah Brown was cutting to the basket. Rausch threw it a bit too far out in front of her left hand. And now Nebraska will call timeout with 5.5.
So just a tough play right there by Danielle Rausch, forcing the tough pass. You would rather see her not throw it right there. I'd rather see Layla Felia cut to the corner and receive it there. But with 5.5 left, 1 point lead for Nebraska, even if the Cornhuskers, they're not in the bonus yet. So you got one more foul to give.
Michigan's next foul will send Nebraska to the line. Should Michigan foul and Nebraska make both of them, Michigan would then need a 3. Nebraska will inbound in the half court. It'll be Shelley. 5.5 seconds left in this game.
Right now, you got to be right up on your player.
And Rausch will foul on the inbound. It was Weidner. She caught it in the corner. 1.1 seconds will run off.
Yeah, Allison Weidner. She's a 79% free throw shooter this season. This is her first trip to the free throw line, so she has yet to attempt a free throw all night.
And these are big ones. You need them both here if you're Weidner. Knocks down the first.
Ice cold, nothing but net on that one.
4.4 seconds left on the shot clock. Weidner's second free throw is good. Michigan will call timeout to advance the ball, and they'll have 4.4 seconds to work, and they need a three-pointer to send it to overtime. No surprise here, Maddie Nolan will check into the ball game.
Wow, what a game. What a game. I mean, if you're Nebraska right now, you're telling your players, you know, you foul. I mean, that's the question is, do you want to foul or do you want to let it happen? Right now, Michigan is only 3 of 11 from deep, and 2 of those are from Leah Brown, and 1 was with Kiser and at the end of the first half. So does Nebraska elect to foul, or do they give Michigan an opportunity to tie this game up and send it to overtime? So they are going to inbound it from the near side on the scorer's table, or the far side, near side.
Everyone on the floor for Michigan, a pretty good free throw shooter, and with Hillman and Kiser down low, I think you just kind of let it out here. Brown to inbound with 4.4. Hits Kiser. Puts up a shot at the end of the buzzer and leaves it short. It goes out of bounds with 0.1 seconds on the clock. And the Cornhuskers have pulled up the upset here in Indianapolis. With 0.1 seconds on the clock, this timeout is just delaying the inevitable. Nebraska led by as much as 14 at one point. Michigan battled back, took the lead at halftime. But the Huskers were just able to produce.
Yeah, and you go to that last possession right there with 4.4 left. That's not what the Wolverines wanted. They did not want Kiser shooting that, but with time winding down, Kiser had no choice other than to throw it up as the final whistle sounds, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers pull off the upset, defeating the number 3 Michigan Wolverines 76-73.
The Cornhuskers get the better of the Wolverines for the second time this season, and that one is a heartbreaker for Michigan. An impressive Big Ten tournament could have put Michigan in a position to potentially earn a number 2, if not a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Be interested to see where they fall now. The final here from Indianapolis, Nebraska 76, Michigan 73.
This is March. This is March. And, you know, Michigan, you know, that's how it sometimes works, is you are on the not the favorable receiving end. And tonight, you know, Nebraska stuck around. Michigan just got into too big of a hole in that first quarter. You know, Leah Brown came up huge for the Wolverines, just not enough. And Nebraska sneaks away with a 3-point victory over the Michigan Wolverines tonight.
Said obviously not the outcome Michigan wanted, but you can't help but commend Nebraska on an impressive outing. Nebraska will go on tomorrow to face off against Iowa in the semifinal. Indiana will play Ohio State to see who heads to the Big Ten championship game on Sunday morning. But with that, that is going to do it for WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball here in Indianapolis. This will be the last game we cover until the NCAA tournament. So from Charlie Brigham and Amer Bektas, we would like to thank you for tuning in, and we're going to leave you, like we always do, with a good night and a Go Blue.